chat, some of the chat. So if you guys are good, I'll get started with this. What we really need is a 2 or 3 hour lesson, maybe a series on breaking through plateaus, and then even maintenance. And two, everyone defines maintenance and plateaus differently. I mean, for one person, a plateau means that they haven't lost weight in an hour, right? You know, for another person, a plateau may mean they haven't lost any weight for 2 weeks. You know, so it's all dependent upon how you define plateau. So I'm not going to try to redefine for you what a plateau should be. It is what it is. It is what it feels like it is to you. And I've discovered over the years, it don't matter how much I tell you that doing everything right for up to 3 weeks and then not losing an ounce would be a plateau. If you feel like a plateau is you not losing weight over a 2-day period, then we just got to embrace that and meet you where you are. Certainly, I feel like a plateau is a good sign. It's a good sign. If you've lost a lot of weight and you've hit a plateau, it's a really good sign. That means that you've removed from off of your body most of your excess body fat. We define fat 3 ways here on this program: essential body fat, reserve body fat, and excess body fat. You learn what your excess body fat is by doing a free assessment. You can come into the center and do that, or you can perform one yourself if you do it accurately online. You go to your journal and there's a button that says assessment, and you can do one there. Now, when we've got excess body fat, it's got to go, all right? This is so odd just talking to a little dot right now, not knowing if anybody's seeing or hearing, but I'm going to do it anyway. So if you've got excess body fat, I need to have everybody say, it's got to go, because it's got to go. I don't care how you define it. If you got excess body fat, it's got to go. It's going to cause premature disease. Got to go, okay? Then, if you've got reserve fat, we've got some decisions to make. Do you want to eliminate that reserve fat? Let me say this. When you get rid of all the excess fat and you begin to lose that reserve fat, you really have to, I think, redefine what your reason is, what your why is. The why, the reason that got you where you are today, if you've lost all of your excess fat, that why will not be a big enough why to help you lose reserve fat as well, because it becomes more difficult. But the reward is much greater. I like to look at it like this. Losing all of your excess fat will have you looking good in your clothes. Okay? Losing your excess fat will have you looking good in your clothes. This next statement is dependent upon gender and age, right? Losing half of or more of your reserve fat will have you looking good naked for your gender and your age and body type. In other words, you will reach your potential and you won't mind taking your shirt off at the beach or wearing a 2-piece at the beach. But now, losing excess fat will have you looking good and feeling good, okay? But then you've got to really reassess, do I really want to lose those last pounds? It's a good sign after you've lost weight. If you've got excess weight and your excess body fat and you're not losing it, that's not good. That's not good. You need to be losing 1% of your body weight every week. But once you lose the excess body fat, let's say you've got 10 to 20 pounds left to lose, and that's it, other than excess skin or whatever it is. If you've got 10 to 20 pounds of fat to lose, then you're going to hit a plateau. Because let me use myself as an example. At over 300 pounds, my baseline metabolic rate was like 2,800 calories a day I could have and maintain that weight. as I began to lose weight, my baseline metabolic rate come down. Your baseline, I don't care what they tell you, your baseline metabolic rate always comes down when you lose weight, even if you're losing fat, because your muscles ain't having to work as hard to tote all that fat around. Does that make sense? In other words, one of the benefits from being overweight initially and early on is that your muscles are having to work harder to tote all that body fat down, or tote all that body fat around. So as your incoming calories are going down, you've got a wider margin of error. In other words, if my baseline metabolic rate, let me look, see if I can find a space on the board to write. I'm going to try to write right up here. Maybe y'all can see it, maybe you can't, I don't know. All right, so my baseline metabolic rate was 2,800 calories and I was 300 pounds. Can somebody chat with me and let me know if they can see that and is this making sense? Let me refresh. My flash player's out all of a sudden and I can't get the thing to work. All right, so 2,800, cool, awesome. All right, so I needed 2,800 calories incoming to stop gaining weight and to maintain the 300. And what nobody tells you, I also needed to neutralize insulin. You don't neutralize insulin, you stay in a growth mode, and then even the little small hiccups you have, you store extra fat. So you have to manage blood sugar and manage calories. We manage calories through portions. I knew I'd do this too long-winded. I can't help it. It needs to be like a 4-lesson series. But we're getting more and more people close to maintenance, but not enough yet to get people to attend for 4 weeks. But we got my baseline metabolic rate, I'm at 300 pounds. Now, I have to stop eating like a 300-pound man to become my goal of being a 200-pound person. So it's simple. It's just you Harley wisdom, right? So if I want to be 200 pounds, I can't eat like a 300-pound person anymore. I got to eat more like a 200-pound person would eat. So let's say that I was having 1,500 calories a day on average, okay? That put me in a deficit, a calorie deficit. I needed 28, but I'm eating like a 200-pound man on a diet. So that put me at a 1,300 calorie deficit. There are 3,500 calories stored in 1 pound of this. This is 1 pound of jiggly itchy fat. I'm in a 1,300 calorie deficit. So that means about every 2.5 days, I'm going to lose 1 pound of fat. Now, early on, I lost 15, 20 pounds of water and bloat and glucose. But then things slowed down. That's not a plateau. That's called getting your life back. All right? Getting rid of the bloat, getting rid of the glucose, getting rid of all that water weight, and it's inches. You're losing inches. That water takes up space. It takes up inches. So I was losing inches, and that's exciting. But then after that first 15, 20 pounds, I'm getting into fat. So about every 2.5 days, I was losing a pound of fat, meaning that about every week with no exercise, I could lose 2 to 3 pounds. Does it make sense? So I'm killing it there, right? But as I get down, and now let's say I'm 250 pounds, okay? I'm still eating like a 200-pound man, but now I'm 250 pounds. 250-pound man says, I want to be fed, just like the 300-pound, but I got to say, shut up. That's the sound of fat cells screaming and dying. Something is dying. It's called jiggly itchy fat. All right, so I'm working it down. Now I'm 250 pounds, but my baseline metabolic rate is going down. It's not that you're destroying your metabolism. It's that you ain't carrying around as much a load all day. You know, you still got the muscle, but it ain't having to work as hard. Can I get amen? Does anybody make this? Is you Harley wisdom making any sense? All right. So now let's say that I'm at, give or take, 2,200 calories. Everybody see that? But I'm still eating this way. Now I'm in a 700 calorie deficit. Everybody see that? Can I get amen? Can I get a witness? Y'all see it? All right, so I'm in a 700 calorie deficit now. 700 to go into 3,500. How many times? 3,500 calories stored in a pound of fat. 700 going to 3,500 5 times. So now, what was taking me 2 to 3 days of excellence to lose 1 pound of fat, now it takes 5 days of excellence to lose 1 pound of fat. So what happens when you get to 210 and 220? Whew! Now it's really going to cost you some excellence. All right. So in other words, when you reach that proverbial plateau, you're going to have many days in a row of perfect days because your margin of error has narrowed. But there's things you can do because it's Planet Shabola. We know all the secrets, but you might not like all the secrets. I'm going to go over the secrets anyway. Let me make sure y'all can see. I believe y'all can see that. My head may be cut off. All right, so now you're wanting to get there quick, right? Okay. I'm going to get you there as quick as you can get there. Here's what you got to do. If you want to break through a plateau, I'm talking about a physical plateau. I'm not talking about a mental plateau. There's 2 types of plateau. You have to determine today whether you're going through a mental one or a physical one. A mental plateau is broken via this, the Word of God. If you think that you're going to reach something as grand as your happy way, something that's going to nothing will change your life more than going through the process, having daily self-discipline, persisting, and receiving the reward of a new body. And I'm not talking about the spiritual new body. I'm talking about the new body right here that you're going to get. You're going to feel so much better about yourself. You need not think that that birthing process is going to come without travail. In the Bible, there were barren women, and they prayed, and they agonized, and they begged God to give them that they desired. And then, as every mother out there knows, when it's time to give birth, there's travail leading up to birth, but then there's real travail as the birthing process begins and baby becomes uncomfortable in the womb. That's what's happening. Y'all are trying to birth something, birth a new you. It's very uncomfortable. So what we do is we backslide back to old bad habits because it was uncomfortable. Think about how many babies would be born if while I'm going to act like I know anything about this. While the woman is dilated to a 6 or 7 and there's no epidural, how many babies would be born if you could make a choice right then? I want to go back to dilate to a 0, just keep the baby in there a while. How many babies would actually be born? How many ladies would want to keep staying in that pain, that agony, and that travail, right? But lady, you do, right? You stay in travail, you're dilated 5, a 6, a 7, a 8. It's more and more uncomfortable, more and more unpleasant. But the more unpleasant it is, the quicker you are to meeting baby, right? That's probably, y'all ladies are going, he don't know what he's talking about. But you're that much closer. But you had to go through great pain, great travail to get to the point that you could have that baby. And then when the baby comes, then there's joy, right? And it's not too long, or there'll be no more babies, that mama's forgotten all about the pain, forgotten all about the travail, the anguish that went through to have and birth that baby, because of the joy that baby brings forth to both mom and dad. This is no different. From a spiritual standpoint, it's no different. You don't need to turn back when it gets tough. When you hit the plateau, you hit the wall. That's not when you look for reprieve. You go forward. You go through the pain. And here's what happens, and some will never know. Once you reach that goal, that happy weight, you will say, it's all been worth it. It's all been worth it. And then it will be nothing for you to continue there on that path, leading a life of daily self-discipline. So be careful that you don't mistake a physical plateau for a mental plateau. Then there's the physical plateau. And that's what we're talking about today, is a physical plateau. I don't have a mental one. I'm fired up, Brother Travis. I'm doing it. I'm killing it. I'm following the components, but I'm still at a plateau for a couple of weeks. Here's what you do. Number one, you've got to eliminate grains and fruit. Y'all hold still 1 second. If you're wanting to lose reserve body fat, not excess, but reserve, you've got to eliminate these until you reach your goal. You'll be able to maintain having these because now you know how to combine the right foods with them and not go into a growth phase again, because you'll know how to add lean protein and fiber to them. And these foods will allow for you to get to a place where you can even talk about getting rid of reserve fat. You can have them. But once you start hitting real physical plateaus, this has got to go. All wheat has got to go. Oats have to go. Barley, corn, maize, brown rice, farro, spelt, kamut, rye, millet, quinoa, amaranth, triticale, teff, sprouted grains, buckwheat, any whole wheat flour, whole wheat bread, whole wheat pasta, rolled oats, oat groats, triticale flour, popcorn, teff flour, white rice, white flour, white bread, hominy, pasta. Some of those I double did on my list. But you've got to get rid of those. And you've got to get rid of all fruit sugar. See, these are energy sources. They're energy. They're immediate energy sources. Fat is a delayed energy source. So if you're giving your body immediate energy sources, it doesn't have to use fat as an energy source because it has now an immediate energy source. And obviously, if you eat too much of them, you spike your blood sugar and you get the insulin dump. That's a problem, okay? We're not talking about that. We're saying you had chicken breast, you had Brussels sprouts, and fruit for dessert. That's fine when you've got excess body fat to lose. But when you're trying to dig deep and you're trying to get off reserve body fat now, because you want to go for it, you want to have that body you've never had before, whatever age, gender you are, it doesn't matter. These got to go. Now, if you're not interested in getting off reserve fat, then we need to talk maintenance program, okay? But I'm talking to the folks that they've hit a physical plateau. These got to go. You can't have grain, you can't have fruit sugar. No, can't do it. Could we have some peas? That's a carb. Yeah, we can work that in and still be okay if we don't have them after 4 p.m. But my point about these is eliminate immediate energy sources and let your body burn fat. Next, no holidays. If you're trying to get rid of reserve fat, there's no such thing as a holiday anymore. There's just not. Think about it. When you get really close to your goal, it could be taking up to 9-10 days to lose 1 pound of fat. So you can work hard 7 days, have one holiday, and you can't see any progress. That's why I said you got to really decide if you want this baby. All right? So no holidays. Now, a holiday meal is different. What I would suggest is that you allow this to be how you earn a holiday meal on a portion plate. Not even eating all you want. You got to start looking at, when you're trying to get rid of reserve fat, you almost have to get in the mindset of a competitive athlete or an actor or actress trying to get ready for the role of a lifetime. You're going to have to be that strict. Once you get down that last 10 to 20 pounds, you got to be that strict. I'm not kidding you. I'd rather you go away a little bit, God, I don't know if I want to do that, than to keep believing a lie. This is how it takes that much, but it's all worth it, folks. It's all worth it. Ask anybody that's willing to pay that price if it's worth it. It is. It's worth it. The way I do it, if I'm really trying to get under 200 pounds, which I haven't this year, if I'm trying to get under 200 pounds, I earn a holiday meal on a portion plate. One meal on a portion plate. by having 6 perfect days. 6 perfect days, no grains, no fruit, no wine. Y'all follow me? Then you can you can expedite breaking through the plateau with exercise. But here we run into trouble too. Because people today, what they call exercise is just getting up off the couch, basically. I'm talking about vigorous exercise. Now, one of the ways we've defined that for folks so that they know the levels would be earn the badges. I'm talking about number one, we named it the soldier badge. That's 100 repetitions and 3 miles of brisk walking. That's the minimum you should be doing if you're trying to get rid of reserve fat. Could you do Zumba and count that as you're walking? You got to use some common sense about it, but if you did an hour of Zumba and you wanted to call that your 3 miles brisk walking, absolutely, that would be fine. But to know how to define it, it's this way. That would be a soldier badge, walking 3 miles and getting 100 good exercise reps in of approved type of exercises, squat, thrust, and push-ups, jumping jacks, whatever. That's to be not even intense. I mean, that's not even moderate exercise, but it's a beginning because you're already burning fat. So now any increase in activity, you're going to burn more fat. Then you got the Spartan badge. Now that's where if you do that one every day, you begin to see some real fat loss. That's 200 repetitions and 7 miles of brisk walking. Now, when I get that badge, when I earn it, I can really see noticeable differences in a week of doing that. But it's an effort. There's a lot of travail. I had to get up, get my 4 miles in the morning, get my 4 miles in before bed so that I cover my miles. And then I'm doing repetitions all day so I don't have to just do it all at one time. It's hard for me to find one block of time, but it's worth it. Then you got the Savage badge. You know, that's 10 miles of brisk walking or running. Running's great. I can't run because of my knees. But that's 10 miles, and it's to show people that, you know, that's probably not something you want to do. But 10 miles of brisk activity, brisk walking, running. You better get up doing it, go to bed doing it, and you get in 300 repetitions. You're a savage. You do that for 2 or 3 weeks, oh yeah, you'll break through any plateau. But you got to exercise if you want to break through these physical plateaus, even if it's just simple walking. Coach mode meals, high thermic effect type of meals. There's a whole list of coach mode meals. Coach mode meals, 3 meals a day, no snack, no freebies, is excellent to help break through plateaus if you really do it while being honest with yourself. You eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, coach mode meal. Always controlling portions. The challenges, especially the intermittent fasting challenges, are fantastic to break through plateaus. And then supplements. Supplements, other than a vitamin, in my estimation, for most people, are a total waste of money. Number one, supplements, they will not be consistent with them. I know people that buy them, take them for a day or two and quit taking them. They haven't even give it time for their body to respond to the supplementation. And they're buying supplements like some people exercise so that they feel that they've earned more food, which is a huge no-no. I mean, you can see that people don't lack desire because of all the people exercising that, in fact, are gaining weight while exercising. It's just, see, the truth is, you can take in food calories a lot faster than you can expend them, right? I mean, you can think, oh, that's probably 400 calories and it was 1,000. So you can take them in really fast, but you can't walk them off fast enough. I mean, I don't care if you're doing CrossFit. In an hour, if you're lucky, you've burned 500 or 600 calories. They say this specific workout, you can burn 1,000 calories. Very, very unlikely unless you never stop moving for an hour. At best, you can burn 500 or 600, but most people's burning 200 an hour. But you can have one snack and put all that back in. okay? So don't use supplements that way. I'm taking this supplement that should allow me more holidays, more cheating, more food. Take supplements and be like a fighter pilot. Don't pull back, go forward, because now you've got some nitro in there, right? You added some nitrogen to that tank or whatever that is in the movie where they click it and go faster. This offers you the opportunity not to have more holidays, but if you're doing everything right, then I highly recommend supplementation. Because they give you that extra, that advantage. One of the ways I like to see people use these is almost, even the ones that work, it still has like a little bit of a placebo effect if you do it right. If you get a 1 month supply, let that be your decision. I'm going to do all of this for 1 month until my supplements run out. And then when I'm done with my supplements, then I'm going to measure and see what kind of results that I have. I guarantee you that if 3 to 4 days a week you went for one of those higher level badges, you did coach mode meals, even if you've only got 15 to 20 to lose, it's coming off. It has to, because you're stretching the rubber band, right? You're in a calorie, if I've got a rubber band, it's like this. You've hit a plateau. I hope this makes sense. You've hit it, just come to my mind. You hit a plateau. This is your rubber band. When you started, that rubber band was like this, but it's tightened up on you, okay? When you started, it was like this. Now it's tightened up. Less margin of error. But if you do all of this and you control those portions, it's like taking both sides of the rubber band and stretching it out further than it's ever stretched before. Now you got it going again. But my point would be, you've got to go to an all-new level where you require discipline to get to this point. Now you have to get a t-shirt that says, I'm a discipline freak. All right? And then you'll get there and you'll break through that plateau. I mean, you'll tear it down. You'll be like over there when Joshua and the army marched around the walls of Jericho 6 times, and then they shouted and the wall came down. It will come down, I promise. All right, any questions before I go? Let me refresh. Yeah, I don't see anything, so I hope y'all got some of that. I really appreciate you. And I like doing the mini classes. It's really easier on me because I can just jump up here and go at it. So if you ever need a little mini class on something, I might not can drop what I'm doing and do it right then, but make some comments. You know, here's the mini class I need, and I'll come on here and I'll do it for you real quick. All right, and it'll help me and it'll help you too. I appreciate y'all. Got class tonight, 6 o'clock, 7:15. I know Dalton's got classes, and we got a new challenge coming up after the 4th, so look out for that today. I love you guys. We'll talk to you later.